Corker. I look forward to your comments.
Well, thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. I thank you for your leadership on this issue, and I want to start by thanking Chairman Enzi also for the way he conducts committee business, as you just mentioned, with on a committee where basically the way that it's set up binds both his arms and his legs behind his back, meaning that just the processes that we have in place make it impossible for us to really deal with our country's fiscal issues. So with you joining the committee, having been a person who's dealt with business throughout the world, quickly seeing these frailties that Chairman Enzi has to deal with, you've thrown yourself into trying to deal with those issues. And I admire you for it. I think you and I both know that this is going to take a while because in essence we're talking about a total reordering. We really don't have a budget process. I mean, to even call what we do a budget per most human beings' understanding of what a budget is obviously not realistic. So I thank you for that. I'm an advocate of what Senator Perdue and Senator Enzi are trying to do. We have to, in essence, get a process in place that actually works. It's impossible for the process that we have today to work. Today's the perfect example of that, right? We pass a CR through December the 11th, and by the way, we make no policy changes. Now think about an entity the size of our federal government. We spend $4 trillion of money each year of the American people's money, and yet we don't do the authorization process which lays out policies. If you can imagine IBM or Apple or Google or any company like that just continuing each year to do things exactly the same way and thinking that there's going to be a different result, that's not possible. But worse than that, in spending the $4 trillion that we spend each year, we only, say, budget over $1.2, $1.3 trillion. The rest of it is on autopilot. And it's the part that's on autopilot that is the greatest threat to our country's national security. So I actually think we need to do two things at once. One is we need to continue working through the processes that Senator Perdue and Chairman Enzi are working on. It's going to take a while to get that done. It's going to cause we're going to have a total reordering of how we do business. That affects Senate careers and staffs, and we understand how difficult that is. We're dealing with human beings. We're dealing with people who have an investment in what they've been doing for years, and it's going to take us a while to overcome the culture that's been established here. But simultaneously, as my good friend Senator Gregg from New Hampshire has laid out, we also need to begin putting in place policy changes that begin saving our nation. One of the problems with the budget process, we pass a budget that makes assumptions, but those assumptions never become reality. And so we say the budget balances over 10 years, but we never do the tough things that it takes for those policies actually put in place. So a forcing mechanism, I know several thoughts have been put forth, to force us to do that, to force us to do that, to keep government open, to keep functioning, is something that has to occur. So I'm proud to be a part of this effort as a wingman. I appreciate all the meetings that are taking place. I hope that we are going to get to a result. I agree with Senator Enzi. It would have been good to have done it when we didn't know who the president was going to be or who was going to be in the majority. That's not going to happen. But things like this that matter, that save our nation, take years to happen. And you're a young senator here by tenure. These things take a long time. I look forward to working with you to ensure that we get the right outcome, to save our nation and to keep us from this moral depravity that's taking place where, in essence, every day that goes by, we're involved in generational theft, where because we're not doing this, we're really laying a huge burden on future generations. So I yield the floor and thank you for your